Homecoming weekend in Columbia, and returning to Faurot Field tonight was something that's been missing for the last 2 weeks. The Mizzou team that dominates the merely mortal. After 2 straight losses to top 10 teams, Oklahoma State here on Faurot Field, and then at Texas, the Mizzou Tigers were back on top of the opponents, winning tonight 58-0 over the Colorado Buffaloes here. If there was any question that it would be a big night for the Mizzou Tigers, it was short-lived as the Tigers scored right out of the gate. It was a short kickoff to start the game as the Buffaloes tried to keep the ball out of the hands of Jeremy Maclin. Instead, it led to a 56-yard, 4-play drive. Derek Washington scoring from just 3 yards out, and it was 7-0 Tigers, barely a minute 9 into the game. Following that, the Buffaloes got the ball, a quick 3 and out, including a sack. And then it was Brian Coulter who broke through after the Colorado punter dropped the snap. That gave the ball to the Tigers on the 5-yard line, and before you knew it, less than 5 minutes into the game, it was 14-0 Mizzou, and the route was on.
So we wanted the shot definitely, but Coloro's a great team. You got to give them credit to their aspect, but stars of the night are definitely our defense and how well they play. The shutout, the game-winning touchdown was the first touchdown. It's just they're playing at a better level now, and hopefully keep it going.
While Mizzou's offense had the left side of the scoreboard rolling like a pinball machine, the right side stayed on 0 throughout the night. The first shutout in several years for the Tigers defense. There were a lot of stars on the night, but a couple of players bear particular notice. The first was Brian Coulter. The transfer from Florida State really became a big name for the Tigers for the first time tonight. Not just the blocked punt, but a couple of sacks and several other big plays for Coulter. The other big name on the night, of course, was Striker Shulak. A forced fumble, a couple of other sacks, big plays on the entire evening for Striker Shulak and really the entire defense, as the defense shuts out the Colorado Buffaloes and the Tigers win 58-0. After the game, we talked about the Tigers' performance and particularly that strong defense with Coach Gary Pinkel.
That was our best focused effort as far as preparation everything the entire year. That was better than we've done anything this year. It would be wise if we do the same thing next week. We want to play our best game.
How important was it to preserve the shot there?
Well, I just think for our defense, they've been getting beat up a little bit. They understand that, and I think that was real important to them. We put our backups in for a while, and then I told Maddie with us got across the 35 and put the veterans here just to be able to do so. It's very special. It's very in this day and age. With all the points scored all over the country every Saturday afternoon, it's just very unusual to be able to do that. And I'm really glad they got a chance to preserve that.
Gary, how about?
The other big news of the night, an NCAA record, as the all-time record for receptions by a tight end in college football was broken. Chase Kaufman in the second quarter broke that record. He is now the all-time receptions leader. After the game, Chase handled the news with humility.
It means a lot. It's pretty neat to be able to go out there and do that.
How much did it mean to your defense?
I've had a great team around me to open things up just so I can make those plays.
Following the Tigers' loss at Texas, throughout this entire week, there was one focus from the team. We heard it over and over again. In fact, we sort of made a joke about it here on the official sports report on Saturday when we said that everything was about 5:30 on Saturday. Afterwards, it was very clear that focus was a big difference and one of the big reasons the Tigers played so well today. We talked with a couple of players about that. First, here's quarterback Chase Daniel.
Yeah, I think that it started this whole week in practice. Our main goal was 5:30 on Saturday night, and it showed up, and we played well. But I think that going through our 48-hour preparation from Thursday night on, and everything was just so much more focused. It's more of a business-like atmosphere. It's hey, we got to do this. This is a game we got to win, and we want to go out there and we want to go out there and try to make a statement.
The guys were just focusing there. Everybody it was razor-like focus. Coach Pinkel, Coach Eberflus, Coach C, they all made a great emphasis on focus this week, and that's what it was. But
after that game last Saturday, and 2 weeks in a row, and I knew what was going to happen right after that game, and what was going to happen was all the family and all the parents and all the students and all the media would write to our players and say, hey, guess what, man, you win the next 5 games, you can be right back where you were, all that, and and we're going to do that. Okay, we weren't going to do it. So our whole thing as a staff was to go 5:30 on Saturday was to forget about everything in the world except what we had to do to get our team finally focused. And that's what we did. We prepared like that. We played like that. And I think that I told our team that there's a time for everybody when you lose your pride gets hurt a little bit for how you played, and you want to get that back. And you got to make a bit of a statement about it. And we talked about that.
Again, here on Memorial Stadium at homecoming in front of a crowd of 68,349, the Tigers beat the Colorado Buffaloes 58-0. Mizzou. Next, the Tigers take to the road. They'll play at Baylor, 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon, before returning back to Memorial Stadium for their final home game of the season on senior night against the Kansas State Wildcats. From Memorial Stadium in Columbia, I'm Darren Hellwedge for the Official Sports Report.